here are the directions that are on your test, or I should say quiz, as well as in your homework, as well as on your final exam. It's going to, some things say like, okay, if these are the x-intercepts or if these are the zeros, which function matches it? So we're going to write a polynomial function of the least degree that has these real coefficients, which are the, well, it has real coefficients, but it has these as the zeros or the x-intercepts. The leading coefficient's always going to be 1, so we won't have to worry about that. And we're going to use intercept form to do that. So, going through this, intercept form kind of looks like this. Y equals, typically it's like A times, well, this was quadratic form. But depending on how big our polynomial is, we might be extending this to several others. Like, it could continue on, depending how many zeros there are. When we did quadratics, there were only 2. There would have only been 2 x-intercepts. But now we're getting into polynomials. There might be more than 1. So, if the leading coefficient's 1, we could either put a 1 there or, you know what, let's just not put it at all. But I need x minus some things. Notice how I have 3 zeros? So I'm going to plug them in to be factors. Just like what we've done for warm-ups a couple times. So if 2 is a 0, it's going to come in as x minus 2. If we have negative 1 as a factor, it's going to come in as x minus negative 1. Or we could just change that to be a positive 1. And then 5 will come in as x minus 5. This is an acceptable answer, but you need to be aware you've got to also possibly match what the function is if I completely distributed this, which, by the way, was covered in chapter 5. No, it was covered at the beginning of chapter 6, and a lot of you guys showed me that you could do this, and we only went over like one example. So let's try this. We're going to FOIL or double distribute these two first, and then we'll practice distributing again. So it's at this point, after I simplify that, okay, now I'm going to not double distribute, but I'm going to triple distribute. I'm going to distribute the x squared throughout this, distribute the negative x throughout this, distribute the negative 2, and then get like terms together. So in the next example, same directions. I just want 4, negative 3, and 6. Because these are the zeros. If you plugged these in, you should get the factor to be 0. So I simplified, or these two terms, 3x minus 4x should simplify to be negative x.